Hello everyone, Wicked here, back in the lodge basement to show you the new update for DarkStar Manufacturing. Now, this was it's an interesting update because I was trying to fix a bug that I could not recreate. My testers couldn't recreate it, I couldn't recreate it, but I understand that there is was a risk to a very few number of players where the lodge basement here the texture would disappear and people would fall through the floor. And as you can see, if you've played this mod before, I have changed the position of all of these crafting benches to spread them out and make room here. Now, I want to be clear about this. First of all, this is not a widespread bug. Second, it is not something that we were even able to reproduce. Third, most of the people that came to us saying that they were falling through the floor of the lodge, almost all of them, it was because they were using either the unofficial Starfield patch or they had other mods that were conflicting and causing texture loss elsewhere, including the space of the lodge. Now, there was one player we were not able to fully help. His problem reemerged. We're not sure why. So in the interest of helping everyone and making sure that this mod wasn't causing issues, I went through the effort of rebuilding the way that this mod adds things to the basement of the lodge. What I mean by that is, in my first pass, which was done in the creation kit, during the creation kit beta, I removed, this little pallet. I removed that pallet, that series of gray pallets there, this crate, these stools that are sitting here upside down, stacked on each other, this couch, that picture frame, and a couple other things. And then I had this wall was lined with my crafting benches, and there was this row here of the melee ones were sitting in this space that I'm walking in now, and it was all nice and concise, and a lot of people liked it. The problem was, I'm not even sure it was a problem. Because I removed things like this couch covered in this cloth, my concern was that on some people's consoles, because I don't believe any PC players had this happen, the texture compression was maybe combining this couch with the floor textures and the wall, and because I said, hey, remove that, their games were maybe removing a lot of things that weren't just the couch. I say that that's a possibility because in the creation, or even in the first version, if you played it, then you'll know that these were still here. This crate that it's stacked on, these barrels, this pallet, those were not removed by my mod. And the reason was, in the creation kit, if you highlight this crate here that I'm looking at, and you tell it to remove that, it actually highlights the ceiling, the wall, the floors, this side wall, all of this debris over here. And if you try and delete it, all of that goes vanish. That's why I left it in place. That's why I only removed the couch, and I took my workbenches to here, and then I had them in the center of the room because I couldn't go down the wall because these things weren't removable. So I'm thinking that maybe, even though it wasn't happening on any of my copies of the game, not on my Xbox, not on my PC, not on any of my testers, not on several hundred people that are in my Discord, most of them never had this issue. But we're thinking that maybe, just maybe, some people's copies of the games were texture compressing this couch, or these chairs, or this crate, or those pallets into the floor, and therefore when my mod said remove that thing, remove those things that should be safe to remove, it was also removing your floor. It's a shot in the dark. We can't know for sure. But in the off chance that you were having those bugs, this should, we hope, now fix you. Can't prove it because I can't recreate the bug, but like I said, better safe than sorry. So what this means for everyone is that you will need to reset your lodge instance. The best way to do that is not to just come straight here. If you logged out here, that's fine. It shouldn't break anything, but you will see some things misaligned, right? Maybe this workbench will still be sitting here, blended halfway with these workbenches. It'll all be fine. Your tactic is go to Venus and sleep for 48 hours. Yes, 48 hours. It may reset sooner. I had one character that it reset after a 5-hour rest on Venus. Another one it reset after 7. The other one I had to rest for 48 hours, and I'm sorry, not 5 and 7. 5 and 7 UT days is when those other characters were able to reset the lodge. This character here, Silk, my biggest character, my most powerful character, the one I've been playing the longest, I had to rest for 48 hours on Venus for everything to fully reposition. Some things repositioned after a 24-hour rest on Venus, others took 48. And that is 24 hours on Venus is 2,400 UT hours, or effectively 100 days. So I had to do the full 48 hours on Venus to get a full reset. I'm recommending that. It just takes a few minutes. And then you can come here and everything will be in its new position and everything should be fine. I've tested everything is accessible, nothing is obstructed, everything works. My testers have messed with this and they have enjoyed the new changes. It feels nicer, it feels cleaner. Probably should have been this way from the start, but we all live and we learn. The books and the slates have moved over here to this crate next to the lamp. This was all cleared off anyways, except for that screwdriver. I have told that screwdriver he needs to move over. He refuses. So since he refused to move, I just removed his override and let him spawn where he wants. He'll just land on top of the slate. It's all good. I even added the changelog slate to this stack somewhere. Unlocks, crafting, proprietary, manufacturing, research, changelog. Over here, closest to the lamp, that is the changelog. That should also be in your inventory when you spawn into the game. Right here in your notes section, it will add one to you the first time you load the mod. And then this, every time I update this mod, this will get updated. So just keep it on your person. This will give you instructions if you happen to be somewhere out in the wild. If I've done something that maybe you need to do something special for, this will tell you. So keep this handy. All the rest of the informational slates are still here. You can pick them up. They stay in your inventory so that unsellable, so that you always have them as a reference. They're not worth anything and they don't weigh anything, so it's not hurting anything to be in your inventory. The other thing of note is that the DarkStar manufactured terminal has moved out here to this first room. So as you're approaching, you would see this terminal first, and then these slates here. So you have two informational sources for everything about this mod, here and here. Next up is the tools that I allow you to craft in here. They're the standard tools available in the base game. As Clutter, I gave you the ability a couple patches ago to craft these. They now have new names. So this means that I've added overrides or hard edits to these tools, this Clutter, but I think that's going to be fine. Even if you have another mod that's overriding these names, at least they'll still be uniquely named. That's the critical point. Now, you can see this is chisel large, chisel medium, chisel small. And if you go to the research that I've added that requires those things, that research, and this character's already done it all, so I don't know if it'll show. But you can see what the required ingredients were. Chisel, small, clamp, vice grip, caliper, vacuum tape, hydraulic clamp claw, hydraulic clamp hook, etc., etc. So the new names now show here as well. For those of you who are having difficulty finding which thing was to be used for which thing, it should now be more clear. Also, to reiterate something that happened in the last patch, 2.0.1, is DarkStar Quality Research 2 used to unlock a whole wall of things. It now still does a limited amount, but it used to unlock all of the legendary researches. It still technically does, but it does so now by a hidden condition, which means that those won't show in this UI anymore. So you still get a little bit of UI sprawl, but not as much. And this should fix people that weren't able to see the exit button when you complete that research. So there's that. Next up was the barrow knife. Someone found out that the barrow knife was bugged. I think I still have them on my inventory. So barrow knife Mark II version was receiving the wrong damage scaling. So the quality tiers for the barrow knife Mark II were wrong. They have been fixed, and now they scale up in damage appropriately as they should have from the beginning. So now Relic Barrow Knife is now 388 damage, where the Relic Barrow Knife Mark II was originally showing as 150 something damage. So now this is fixed. Secondary is the combat knife. So the Mark II combat knife was just fine. That was working as expected. But the original combat knife was not receiving. So you see this says quantum edged. That is inaccurate. Quantum edged is Bethesda's new name for advanced when it comes to melee weapons, melee bladed weapons. So quantum edged equals advanced. The bug is that this combat knife, which was spawned before I fixed it, that's how I found it, this is actually trying to roll itself as a relic. Relic is several tiers above advanced. It goes calibrated, refined, advanced, superior, unrivaled, relic. What was happening was the relic one, when it attempted to drop for the combat knife only, it was rolling calibrated, refined, advanced, 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 advanced. Because as I've explained in the past, all quality tiers that qualify for the current level being dropped all get added to the base game weapons. So if you see an advanced weapon, it's always calibrated, refined, and advanced quality tiers all combined on that weapon. This one was getting 4 clones of advanced when it attempted to roll as a relic. So that actually means that while this title looks like it's an advanced combat knife, it's really a relic, and it shouldn't have been 224 damage. It should have been much higher than that. Well, a little higher than that. So these were rolling with improper, the combat knife vanilla version was rolling with improper quality tiers applied above advanced, and was therefore showing the wrong display name and lower damage than it should have been. It is now fixed. And the quantum edged Mark II, this is the advanced equivalent. This is where this one should have been around that point. It is fixed in the new update, and that weapon will now be correct as well. Next up was someone was asking during the live stream why the Mark III weapons, the vial weapons, were showing with less range than their Mark II counterparts. Well, that is also not a bug. So let me face the light. Stay there. Okay. So the camera issues. I am not used to content creating. Deal with me. All right. So the issue there is that it's not a bug. Or ballistic weapons, when you go up to your highest skill level in ballistics, I'll bring that up. Ballistic. Sorry, it's been a while. Where's ballistic? There it is. So ballistic weapons range is increased by 30%. There's your culprit. So ballistic weapon has 30% increased range when you have this skill level. Particle beam weapons add 5% crit chance, not range. So when you convert a weapon from ballistic to particle beam, you lose range, you gain crit. Vial weapons, Mark III weapons, are particle beam weapons. Mark II ballistic weapons are ballistic weapons. So when you have a Beowulf that you craft or loot or buy or whatever, you turn it into a Mark II, it's still a ballistic Beowulf. When you turn it into a Mark III Beowulf, it is a particle beam Beowulf. You will lose range, you will gain crit, you will gain damage. Because it adds energy damage. It becomes a particle beam weapon. So there's your answer for that. That is not a bug. Just a quick reminder, one last reminder to everyone, please join the Discord if you want to give feedback, if you want to talk to other users of DarkStar, if you want to talk to other users of DarkStar and ask, hey, does this mod work with that? Does this mod conflict with that? We have those discussions nonstop, round the clock on that Discord. There's almost always somebody active that can answer questions. Come and join us and experience this community where we're all helping each other to play the game in a more fun and challenging way. So hope to see you there. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Join as a member if you want to have private conversations with me on Discord or see some of my private live streams that are Force Recon member only. And coming soon will be a merch shop with gaming content related t-shirts and paraphernalia. So I hope to see you all stick around and catch you next time. Peace.